Hear the word of the Lord from Exodus. Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the seventh day, he called to Moses out of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down at once. Your people, whom you have brought up out of the land of Egypt, have acted perversely. They have been quick to turn aside from the way that I commanded them. They have cast for themselves an image of a calf, and have worshipped it and sacrificed to it, and said, 'These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt.' The Lord said to Moses, 'I have seen these people, how stiff-necked they are. Now let me alone, so that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them. And of you I will make a great nation.' But Moses implored the Lord his God and said, 'O Lord, why does your wrath burn hot against your people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Turn from your fierce wrath, change your mind, and do not bring disaster on your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, how you swore to them by your own self, saying to them, 'I will multiply your descendants like the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have promised I will give to your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever.' And the Lord changed his mind about the disaster that he planned to bring on his people."
Continuing from the book of Exodus. As soon as he came near the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, Moses' anger burned hot, and he threw the tablets from his hands and broke them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf that they had made, burned it with fire, ground it to powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. When Moses saw that the people were running wild, for Aaron had let them run wild to the derision of their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is on the Lord's side? Come to me." And all the sons of Levi gathered around him. He said to them, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, put your sword on your side, each of you. Go back and forth from the gate to gate throughout the camp, and each of you will kill your brother, your friend, and your neighbor." The sons of Levi did as Moses commanded, and about 3,000 people fell that day. From the book of 2 Corinthians. Such is the confidence that we have through Christ towards God. Not that we are competent of ourselves to claim anything as coming from us. Our competence is from God, who has made us competent to be ministers of a new covenant, not of letter, but of spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. Now if the ministry of death, chiseled in letters on stone tablets, came in glory so that the people of Israel could not gaze at Moses' face because of the glory of his face, a glory now set aside, how much more will the ministry of the Spirit come in glory? Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And all of us, with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord, the Spirit. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Okay, I'm going to do a whole bunch of things today I've never done before.
So hopefully it won't be a complete disaster. Good morning. If you don't know me, are these both on? Are they like there's a feedback loop? Okay, cool. If you don't know me, my name is Joel Balzer. And I've been attending Grace Fellowship for a long time. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, yeah? And these are my credentials. First of all, not only is my wife Lisa Hannigan, but Lisa was Brenda Wong's first InterVarsity student at San Francisco State. Furthermore, my sister, Kelly Hannigan, now Kelly Gatelli, was one of the original 40 who were here when Grace Fellowship was first founded. Now, this is a little trick that you do when you're speaking in public. You don't really have anything to recommend yourself, so you drop names. That's what I'm doing. I'm dropping names to give myself a little credibility. So today we're going to be following the children of Israel on their journey through the wilderness. And to illustrate what that might mean for us, I'm going to talk about being in the Boy Scouts. Nowadays, people rightly have concerns about the Boy Scouts. But the Boy Scouts was really good to me. I admit, I didn't like all of the Boy Scouts. I could have done without the uniforms. But I loved tying knots. I loved camping and backpacking. And I loved having an excuse to always have a pocket knife. You're going through TSA and they're like, hey, and you go, I'm a Boy Scout. I have to. Be prepared. I also love how Boy Scouts introduced me to Yosemite National Park. I went to Yosemite and I wanted to know, what? This place is real? Why haven't I known about this before? You guys have been holding out on me. Thanks to Boy Scouts, I've been going to Yosemite for over 50 years. And it was in Yosemite that I learned how to use a compass. Here is my compass. I learned how to use this when I was in Boy Scouts. Actually, this is one that Lisa bought me after I lost the one I had as a kid. Another thing that happens when you're a Boy Scout. Now, compasses can be really helpful if you're lost. So if you live in San Francisco, it's actually kind of hard to be lost if you've lived here for a while. If you're standing around and you go, oh, there's Sutro Tower right there, you know that you're really close to Sharon Verdi's house. If Sutro Tower is to the southeast, Sharon Verdi, that's where she lives. If you're out, close to the ocean and you don't know where you are and you look up and there's Mount Davidson, well, just walk back and forth and you'll get to either the Jew's house or Alice Lee's house. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. If you're down by the bay and you're turned around and you look up and there's Twin Peaks, just walk towards Twin Peaks and you'll end up right over there in front of Grace Fellowship Church. You can ring the doorbell and Craig Jung will help you out. So if you're in unfamiliar territory, or if it's foggy, a map and a compass can be a real lifesaver. It can tell you where north is. Then you take your map and you can figure out exactly where you are. This is called orienting. You figure out where north is, you line it up on your map, and you're ready to go. Now, sadly, sometimes a compass isn't enough if you don't have a good map. That's actually a good map. Last January, Lisa and I were hiking in Yosemite, and we decided to take the stock trail up towards Nevada Falls. Now, if you look on here, you can see that little dot where it says gauging station. That's a place called Happy Isles. And if you're at Happy Isles, the normal trail goes on the left of the river. And it's great. You have a great view of Vernal Falls, and it takes you up the Mist Trail, and it's fabulous. But if you have bad knees, like I do, the stock trail is what the mules use to go up. And the stock trail is actually that one right there on the right-hand side of the river. So, the stock trail is not as well maintained as the main trail, but it's more gradual, more knee-friendly, and nobody's ever there. It's often completely abandoned. So Lisa and I are hiking along. We're having a great time. It's morning. It was wonderful. And we're hiking through the trees. We had it all to ourselves. But on the way down, we ran into a family. And they were very, very anxious. There was Dad, there was Mom, there was Buddy, the son, Susie, the daughter. There were grandparents. And then there was the brother-in-law. Even the brother-in-law was along, Dad's brother-in-law. And they stopped us. They thought that they were lost, and they were very, very confused. So like us, they had started hiking up the Happy Isles Trail, but they got on the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side. And so they wanted to go to Clark's Point. There's a point where you can stop and you see this view. That's actually a painting my mom did. You know, you got to sneak Mom in when you can. So that's the view from Clark's Point. You can see Nevada Falls and Liberty Cap, and it's a really cool place. Nice wide spot in the trail, and you can look over. And the view from Clark's Point was where this dad wanted to go. The dad wanted to take his kids and his family to Clark's Point. They'd made it to Illilouette Creek, but they're looking at the map, and they were in the trees. And they weren't sure where they were. And brother-in-law, who'd actually done the Vernal Falls Trail before, he knew that they were on the wrong trail. Mom was worried about being lost. The kids wanted snacks. Dad was in big trouble. Big trouble for Dad. Big trouble for Dad. Everyone counts on Dad to make sure the family is safe and having a good time. And everyone had been following Dad. And brother-in-law is like, you guys should have listened to me. And that was when they flagged us down. They flagged Lisa down, then they got me. So Dad gets out his map, and he has a picture actually of Clark's Point, and he says, this is where we want to go. And I see immediately where they went wrong. This is the map that you get at the visitor center, and if you look at it, the stock trail isn't there. He had a map. He had like the official visitor center map, but Dad's map was incomplete. It didn't even have the stock trail on it. And this is important. This will be on the quiz. This will be on the quiz. Dad knew where he wanted to go. Where he wanted to go was pretty cool. He was going in the right direction, and he was still lost. So, remember, the trail that they'd been on for 1.5 miles wasn't even on the map. But, I could assure them, you're exactly where you need to be. Congratulations! You're headed exactly in the right direction. So, a lot of you know me, and you know half the time I don't know where I am. That's why I love compasses. But this time, I knew exactly where we were. Exactly. And I said, congratulations, you're doing great. Further up, further in. What an adventure. This is a great adventure. You're off the map. You're lost. But you're exactly where you need to be. And you're going in the right direction. So I wonder if sometimes when we think we're lost, we just don't have the right map. Uh-oh. Got too many pages. Sorry, I lost a whole page. No, this is embarrassing. Everything was going so well. Okay, let's see here. All right. Is my face red? Is it? Is my face red? On a canyon trail, it's a beautiful day. You get a little turned around. You wonder, is this the way? The trees, they're so pretty, but they kind of block the view. Are we lost in the woods? What are we to do? Sometimes that's our lives. We can't see what's ahead. Is our faith strong enough? How are we being led? In times of confusion, we can listen and pray, then keep walking forward, walking the pilgrim way. Desert, a place they'd never been, sand dunes and sagebrush carrying their tents, pillar of smoke to guide them, manna to eat, people together, bed of sand to sleep. Let's just keep walking, moms say to their kids, daughters, sons, grandparents, step by step they did. Lord, when will we get there? My feet ache. The sun is hot. Behind us is slavery. What's ahead, we know not. Children of Israel, chosen to walk this way. Children of Israel, walk on, I say. One day, 3 months later, Wilderness Sinai. Ahead, as they were walking, a mountain rose up high. God said to Moses, tell the folks they can stop. You come up on the mountain. It's time we had a talk. Up the rocky slopes, climbing with his head bent, 40 days on the mountain. The Lord called and Moses went. 40 days on the mountain. The Lord called and Moses went. 40 days on the mountain. The Lord called and Moses went. Children of Israel, chosen to walk this way, children of Israel, walk faithful, I say. 40 days on the mountain, Moses was getting woke. Down on the desert plain, all the people saw was smoke. So they went to Aaron, frightened as they could be. We don't know where Moses is. We need someone who can lead. Aaron on the hot seat. He'd never been there before. Would I have done things differently? I don't know, can't say for sure. So Aaron racked his brain. What to do? Woe is me. In Egypt, they had idols. That'll make folks happy. When we hit a crisis, aren't we just the same? Always back to Egypt. Christians only in name. Children of Israel, chosen to walk this way. Children of Israel, walk faithful, I say. So Aaron built an altar, an idol he lifted high. And we gotta wonder, what do my golden calves look like? Where do I keep my treasure? Is it my IRA? Does my faith falter reading USA Today? When I was unemployed, it hit me really bad. When I lost my insurance, my heart went swirling mad. So Aaron and Israel raised hands in allegiance. Drinking celebration wine, they started to dance. Of course, up on the mountain, the Lord looked down to see his chosen holy people given to idolatry. God said to Moses, these folks are a stiff-necked lot. All I see is sinners. My anger's burning hot. I don't see it. I'm sorry. God would never do that. I do that. I don't see an upside, says God. I think I've had enough. Why not let's start over? Let me burn this group up. But Mo, he interceded. Oh no, Lord, please relent. What if the nation's here? What will they think then? Oh God, please remember, Moses begged of the Lord. You made a promise. You gave your holy word. I wonder what that felt like. The anger, fire, and rod up there on the mountain. Moses arguing with God. Scholars smarter than me, they have theories. They write books. They try to reconcile how this story makes God look. Me, I don't understand. God changing his mind Moses had to plead. Was that the plan the whole time? God's anger burning hot. That's something I know very, very well. I've been known to lose it, start screaming bloody hell. I know all about anger. Maybe you have seen me rage, consumed by bad temper when things don't go my way. Of course, Apostle Paul said, "Be angry, yet do not sin." I guess it's possible. I just don't know when. So, please pray for me. This promise I'd believe, that I would take this sin of mine and forgiveness receive. Meanwhile, back on Sinai, God sends Moses back down carrying 2 tablets, the covenant in stone. Those 2 stone tablets, just how much did they weigh? Written by God's finger. That's all the Bible will say. The whole covenant written on both sides. Moses and Joshua, best not slip or slide. Children of Israel, a covenant of stone. Is that what we believe? Is that all we've known? Moses pulls up to camp, sees the calf and all the fun. He lets his anger boil out. He gives his rage free run. He throws down the tablet, a show of righteous wrath, those written by God's hand. He decides to smash. He grinds up the golden calf, makes folks drink the dregs, lets loose the Levites' swords, a slaughter born of rage. So we got to ask now, did God command this? Go all Charlton Heston? Was that really the Lord's wish? Children of Israel, they kind of look like us. Children of Israel, learning how to trust. People of brokenness, broken faith, broken bones. We got broken tablets, so much to atone. So we see with Moses, once the dust settled down, back up on the mountain, back to holy ground. Children of Israel, chosen to walk this way. Children of Israel, walk faithful, I say. The end from the beginning. We are so quick to fall. God's hand is still writing. The Creator sees it all. Yes, there's consequences. Our tablets smashed apart. Yet the great physician is mending broken hearts. Moses on the mountain saw glory face to face. Yet the smallest child marching in place. Children of Israel, chosen to walk this way. Children of Israel, walk faithful, I say. We too, broken people, with idols and anger, living out in the desert. But is that the last word? God still has a plan. There's promises made. Despite all our heartache, the Lord will still save. children of Israel, chosen to walk this way. Children of Israel, walk faithful, I say.